An NFL insider just revealed a massive trade update on the New England Patriots after yesterday Eliot said that the Patriots would be willing to trade a first or second round pick for a player worthy of that. Now we break down today the Patriots' plans ahead of the 2025 NFL season. Welcome to Patriots Digest, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews, and I appreciate you tuning in to today's show. As always, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free, and it's the best way to support the channel and help us grow here on Patriots Digest. So yesterday, Eliot kind of broke down saying, hey, we're willing to trade a first or second round pick if it is in the best interest of the team. Well, today we got a new report that kind of is an interesting one to combine with that. The Patriots are not close to trading for any disgruntled star player per a report. Now I'll break this report down and kind of go with some specific quotes. It all comes from the Athletics NFL insider Dianna Russini, but disgruntled is an interesting label to put over some of these players. Now yesterday we talked about three, and that is Micah Parsons, Trey Hendrickson, and Terry McLaurin. In this situation, Hendrickson is obviously frustrated, so is McLaurin, but disgruntled, I think, probably falls more under the Micah Parsons tree, so I don't know exactly how the report kind of aligns. Obviously, knowing yesterday we got this from Eliot saying the Patriots would be willing to trade away a first or second round pick if it was best for the team. Obviously, the Patriots have the most cap space still available in the NFL, around $60 million. So they would be best fit to take on one of these big contracts. I don't think they want to pay Terry McLaurin what Terry McLaurin wants in the DK Metcalf money. Probably would be more towards Courtland Sutton's contract, but either way you slice it, the Patriots have the money to get a deal done, and that's kind of where we have to start in this report and going in with it. Sean T. McGuire of NBC Sports Boston saying, quote, Patriots executive Eliot might be open to a blockbuster trade, but that doesn't mean one is coming down the pike. The Athletics NFL insider Dianna Russini confirmed as much less than 24 hours after New England's executive vice president of player personnel said he would trade a first or second round pick to improve the 2025 team. Now, the interesting double entendre to this is that I think either three of these players would all improve the New England Patriots, especially for this upcoming season, but I don't exactly know what price the Patriots are looking to get some of these players at. So that's really the biggest part about that. Now, obviously, there's a few players out there that are, expressing disgruntled. Sean T. McGuire again saying, quote, a few players who are likely to command such a steep price include Cincinnati Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson and Washington Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin, both of whom have requested to be traded given displeasure about their respective contract situations. Now, we talked about a little bit of both these guys yesterday, but I also want to throw in there, because we talked about Micah Parsons. I know that he is a little bit more of an interesting situation because the Cowboys are not fun to deal with. And on top of it all, he technically is under contract and will make a decent amount. And, they could play for the next couple of years and, put him on a franchise tag, whatever. I feel like although Micah Parsons may be the best fit for the Patriots, he might be the least likely for New England to land. But speaking of Hendrickson and Terry McLaurin, Hendrickson would be a very interesting one, but the report from Dianna Russini seems as though that it's not going to be something that happens really anytime soon. Here is a tweet she had earlier this morning saying the Patriots, like every other team, are constantly looking for possible ways to improve their roster. But from conversations I've been having, I don't sense that New England is close on a deal for any of the NFL's disgruntled stars at this time. And then another thing she had on Scoop City, one of the podcasts, she said, I didn't get the sense that these guys are on the hunt to try and make some big move before the start of the season. Now, she specifically puts in there before the start of the season. I think that is important to note that this is before the start of the season. Like, what happens in the middle of the season? Let's say the Patriots do what we expect them and, go off and actually have a really good start to the season. That could change some things, but obviously the asking price needs to be in a good fit. And the Patriots said, we'll give you a first round, we'll give you a second round, but I don't know exactly how much they'd be willing for Trey Hendrickson, who is 30 years old, as to Micah Parsons, who, 26. So in that situation, it caused for a little bit of an interesting point. We go back to the article here from Sean T. McGuire of NBC Sports Boston saying, quote, the Bengals reportedly are seeking a first-round pick and a young defensive player in exchange for Hendrickson. The four-time Pro Bowler who led the league in sacks last season and was named a first-team All-Pro has been holding out with guaranteed money being a key sticking point, end quote. The interesting thing that I find about this is that as of right now, the Bengals are hold tight on we want a young defensive player and we want to have a first-round pick, which that is a lot to ask for a player who does not want to play with you right now. Yes, he came back to training camp. Yes, you gave him the option to look and search out trades, but if I'm the Cincinnati Bengals, that is a heavy price to pay. Now, he's under contract this season. Maybe that price gets lowered by the trade deadline or, throughout the season, especially if the Bengals stink, which, honestly, watching the game last night against the Commanders, their offensive line is terrible, so I don't think it's going to be much of a big deal for them to, have their defense not be good. If it's not, obviously, there's a bunch of different contracts there, but besides the point, the Patriots would be a perfect trading partner for this situation. It's just kind of a hard thing to see, especially when Dianna Russini is saying stuff like this. Quote, "I have a hard time believing that the Patriots are going to seriously get in on this. Look, I was just with them in Minnesota. Of course, conversations about the big stories in the NFL come up, but I didn't talk to anyone who was like, tell me more about Terry McLaurin. Tell me more. I didn't get a sense that their guys are on the hunt," end quote. Which is a fair point. They're not getting the sense that, okay, we're going to be out there looking to improve our squad. Now, it has been reported the Patriots did contact the Cincinnati Bengals about Trey Hendrickson. Here we have it from Sean T. McGuire of NBC Sports Boston saying, quote, "Russini's insights surfaced after NFL reporter Armando Salguero reported the Patriots were one of the teams who called about Hendrickson. Fellow NFL insider Jace Andrews reported New England's considered Cincinnati's asking price to be, quote, too much, end quote. Fair point. If the Cincinnati Bengals are asking for a young defensive player and a first-round pick, I have to assume they're going to be going after some of the young guys on the roster. I can't imagine they would ever ask for Christian Gonzalez, but there's a bunch of guys we have on the defensive side of the ball that they would for sure be interested in. I just don't know if the Patriots are willing to trade a young defensive guy for Trey Hendrickson, who, yeah, you're going to have him for 4 more years, but the longevity of him is a little in question just because he is 30 years old, because there is, still questions about how long he will be, still in the league. He's played for a long time, and those stats are great. 17.5 sacks both of the past 2 years. He's had 8 sacks in the year prior and 14 sacks back in 2021 in his first year with the Bengals, but overall, this is a guy, especially as a defensive end, that, his prime is probably coming to an end. And in that situation, is he going to play this season? Yeah, maybe. I really don't know how that's all going to work out because he's going to get fined for holdout and stuff like that. But I truly believe that if he wanted to, he could hold out and the Bengals would, sure enough, finally fold. But I don't really know. Frankly, I think the Bengals are one of the most poorly run organizations in all of the NFL. And we'll see if they're even worse to deal with some ways than, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. So kind of have to wait and see. I think Hendrickson would be a fantastic option. I think Terry McLaurin would be probably one of my lesser 2 for sure. Micah Parsons, he would require a lot to give up, but if you can get him, I think it'd be worth it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Is this something that deters you? Do you think you would be still willing to trade for Trey Hendrickson? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. We'll see you next time here on Patriots Digest. Peace out, guys.